Welcome back to our vintage playthrough, episode 24. I just want to get this put off on a worker for planting the soybeans on this field so they can get at her while we continue our greenhouse operation, getting that figured out. Let's see, they did get done on the previous episode rolling this field as well, so that's all ready to go, it looks like. Excellent. And we do got to get the grass cut on this episode as well, so we can get that. Let's see, we probably can... We'll go ahead and ferment this one into silage. We may have to think about doing a... Actually, we had 3 rows wide. We should be good for another year, I think. The more I think about it for cows. You only need those like a month or 2 in the winter. Yeah, it looks like they should be able to get on pretty well. I did go on the mod hub and found a cut bale open command, so we can cut this straw open for our greenhouse. I'm hoping this is the spot where it takes it. I guess not. We'll have to grab a bucket and scoop it up, but we get close. It says cut, so let's do that. Z, and it went over here. Did it take it at all, or does it say? This could bring its own problems. Straw, there's none here. So let's see. Let's grab a scoop for the skid steer. We might actually have to buy one because I think the manure... We have a manure fork, but will that hold? Let me look real quick in the area. Skid steer. It does do straw. Okay. Perfect. Otherwise we'd have to go grab a bucket at the store, but it looks like we can get on fine. Again, it's one of those things we got to figure out exactly how they work. It does say that it takes straw, so the question is, where does it take it? See, I think our manure fork was down here. There it is. I think we've only used it a couple times when we first began the series. Trying to use up that old fertilizer we have in the totes. And then we'll just stick with the organic stuff from there. Speaking of which, I don't know if I put down the right greenhouse for that. Because there was one that would take the manure and the other one that would take the... Yeah, this is going to take solid fertilizer. Or no, that's this one. Solid fertilizer goes into that. Yeah, on this mod here, I read the instructions as well. Manure will change into fertilizer. So we should be good both ways. Okay, let's get this loaded up. Oh, it's switching to manure when I do that. Where is the fill area for this? We got the triggers on the thing here. Cannot be performed here. Is it by the water? Okay, it's by the water area, because it says... we got manure now. So what we'll do... We should go grab a... we should go grab a bucket, I guess. If it's gonna switch to manure. We gotta do this the right way. Alright, let's head on down to the sale area. We'll grab a bucket and then we'll come back. This looks really nice here, doesn't it? Well, I also figured out how to get the tarp up for that. I'll show you when we get back. Alright, here we go. Skid steer high dump bucket. That'll give us our straw. We'll just leave that as is. $4 grand. It's like the herbicide advertisements are on full display on all 3 billboards. As we're rolling back up on the farm, let's take a look at that. That tree there is pretty nice. A little more inviting. Almost feeling less run down. Put more money into our garden than our yard. But it looks so very nice. Okay, let's see if this changes. It shouldn't change. Should be straw. There we go. I'm kind of curious if A full bale would have worked now that I kind of know where the trigger area is to dump, which is the water bin area. It's kind of weird that that is where you dump it, but that's what it is. Okay, so is that... Yes, perfect. It looks like we lost a little bit though, to be honest. That was a 3,000 liter bale. So, you know, did it go under the map? Oh, maybe we should have painted this black, this bucket. We might do that. Just so they match it, otherwise it's going to drive me crazy. Let's go grab another straw bale. And then we'll see if it'll take a full bale. If not, we'll just back up and then cut it open. And then, because I want to make sure it's not going under the greenhouse when we do that. That could be where it's all going. Or if we actually do lose that much. Which would be quite ridiculous. Shouldn't lose any when you cut it open. Yeah, 3,000 liters. We definitely didn't end up with that, that's for sure. Yeah, let's try this. If this does work, then the bucket's almost useless that we purchased. Nope, it's not doing anything. So what we'll do, let's pick it up, and then we'll move it back a little bit on the road. We'll cut it open here. Oh no! I was worried about that. I was like, it might not go on the road because it might not like that. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. I guess if we ever need more manure, we could if we can convert it from straw. We found that out. Almost need like a straw pit here so we can... I should make like a designated bale cutting area so that when we need it we can just do it without problems. Again, I might just use the straight water one for now, and we can activate this one later, just to see like how much more we'd actually get. I guess if a little stays on the ground, it's not the end of the world. It kind of gives it some character there. Might be a little more realistic. I'll try to get that last little bit. I definitely don't want you putting it in the middle of the road, though, that's for sure. There we go. I'm gonna try to get that last little bit. Let's just dump this off. Yeah, once we kind of start getting on cruise control here, we need to start saving up money so we can use it on the next series. But we will get some money for the land as well, so we may not actually be in too bad of a boat already. Yeah, we got that last little bit. And try again up here in the greenhouse, getting that. Coming from a different angle, there we go. I think we got it all. Yeah, looks like it. Next time we won't do that. let's check up on the production. Yeah, so that was the whole bale. And again, we get some manure. We should have a spot for a manure pile over here. We'll probably start digging into the other pile we have so we can get that off our other field. And then water. We got to get the rest of this water topped up. 60,000. We could get that automatic pump put into if that's going to be a nuisance. Doing this water all the time. And then I think we could actually set the distributing up to also feed the cattle as well. And we don't have to worry about that and the pigs. That might not be a bad investment. I gotta paint this bucket black or it's gonna bother me that it doesn't match the other ones. I know it's top priority right now. Was it jet black or just... I think that's right. It didn't cost a dime. We just did it ourselves. We could leave the bucket over here, since this should be the only spot unless we start doing something else different. I'll just put it right here for now. Okay, what I think we're going to do, let me get that manure fork out of the way, is we'll do a little time lapse on filling up water. It holds an awful lot. Yeah, how much this... Yeah, so this the open air garden holds 60,000 liters. That would be ridiculous to try to fill all that up. So we won't go completely on that one. This one does 40. We'll get a little bit going here, and then we will we'll see where we're at. Because like I said, we might just pay for that piping. It might be time to get away from the manual filling and go to an automatic system. Which there's nothing wrong with that, because that's definitely realistic to pipe in water on both, well, all areas. We'll go with that. I was just checking up on the pigs. And then our greenhouses, how did we end up? We just did a few. Like I said, it'll hold a lot, but we'll keep an eye on how good that goes. It might actually run through that really quickly. Otherwise, I want to see if I have that pipe. Was it under... I might have not turned it on. Yeah, I'll have to turn that mod on. It's probably best to wait anyway till I use it up. And then, like I said, we can get rid... I'm not absolutely 100% sure that it will distribute to the animal pens. I think it might. I have a personal playthrough with it on. I use it to fill up my gardens. Or greenhouses, I should say. But the cow pasture I had was already a pumped-in water thing. So I didn't need to have it run that way. It would save a lot of time if that kept that stuff... We don't have to worry about that. It's back in here. Okay, so it looks like the soybeans are done. Didn't even use up all the fertilizer yet either. Now this has to get rolled. We'll get that roller set off. We can also dump the rest of that solid fertilizer over the greenhouse just to get rid of it. So we can start using the spreader again. I'm about ready to. Help change up the gameplay a little bit. That bale, I hope we don't forget that again. We do got to get on. I should probably change our outfit because it's really warm out. Let's go with that one. Let's see, do that, and then we'll change the work. Should we leave the... Nah, let's leave the work direction, I guess. It's usually pretty good, the default what they have. There's just been a few times we had to change it. Alright, we'll put the seeder back. We're probably going to, like I said, make that new field later on in the year. That right over by our greenhouse area. I think we get a good one drilled. We got to get that tree down, but I think we'll plant in like a either a barley or a wheat crop, which means we'll have to plant at the end of the year anyway, and that won't even harvest till next year, so we do have time. So it'll be good to get all this done. I don't know, this seems to be like a good spot for the... Although the trailer hitch has screwed us up sometimes. Would this be better to put in that corner where the cedar is? Maybe that we should do that. Let's do that. Just because of the hitch causes a problem. And we'll just put this here for now. Oh well, we're gonna have to bail soon enough though too. Otherwise we're constantly slamming into that. Yeah, we'll try that. Alright, we got to get going on our grass cutting. Otherwise we're going to lose a month on it. We might be able to get another cut in if we get on this one right away. Make some good money doing that. All right. Let's have at her.
Sweat-soaked hands work the blades. Land
we ended up with 7 bales. And I gotta remember that we got that other one way over there. I think we'll pick these up on the next episode. We could break it up a little bit. I think what I'm gonna do is use those two tote pallets we have. We'll put those into one of the gardens. Well, it accepts both, I guess. That way we can get that used up. It's taken forever to actually use it up on the planter, which is, I guess it'd be a good thing normally, but like I said, I really want to switch over to manure throwing or slurry for the fields. And that planter, it's been staying in the planter quite a while, although we would have to use it on a cedar crop, but we do need the room in our garage so we can get stuff configured when we need to. Let's see, do we need the tractor right now? I don't think we do. We get the skid steer, and then we'll get the forks. The forks were off of it. The manure. We may need this over here. It's probably a better spot for it anyway. We will have to finish up what we have over by the field over there, but we'll use that on the field instead of trying to cart back and forth. I mean, we could get a trailer and fill the trailer up and bring it over, but we might as well just use it up on the field. We're not constantly wasting time. We're gonna configure the truck we have, and then we'll see. I think that should be able to get manure into it, and then we can go over to the animal dealer. I gotta turn and see where we're going here. Go over to the animal dealer, we get some manure put on it and bring it over. We'll dump it on the ground over here, try to find a spot for it. We'll have to put some dirt down to make it look more packed down, I guess. Obviously it'd make more sense to have it that way. Yeah, these, like I said, I've been ready to get rid of these, so I'll put them in whichever greenhouse accepts them. It looks like it'll be the open air garden one that'll accept those. And like I said, I think that one will convert regular manure into the fertilizer, is what I read on the instructions for that one, so that'll work for both. Let's see, I think our dumping spot is over here. Let's raise it up. Will that work? So we can see, yep, perfect. We'll burn through these totes yet. I'm honestly surprised how long that takes to use up when we're planning. I thought for sure we would have went through those pretty fast, but like I said, it's a good problem. I think precision farming also helped because you don't have to use all of it like you normally would in different spots and such. Thousand liters here. Like I said, we'll wait to activate. That's heavy. Looks like we gotta get it up so far there. Oh man, that's so heavy. I don't have it loaded quite right on here, the forks either, to get the center of gravity in the proper spot, but if we can, there we go. Yeah, we'll just use the water. We'll see how good that comes out. And like I said, we will switch over to the fertilizer ones. It's only right. Look at that, we already, holy moly. That is a lot of potatoes. Maybe we don't need it. Let's see here. Yeah, those are 1,000 pallets, right? Water. Solid fertilizer. That's crazy. I can't believe there's that many potatoes already. Holy moly, man. Yeah, this is gonna do us well. That is really good. Okay. We'll get this put out of the way here. Get this configured. Let me double check and make sure that it will hold manure. It should. Yep, there it is. Perfect. Extension 7,600. We'll have to see how expensive this is going to be. The first time us getting manure from the animal dealer. And regardless if we decide not to use it on the greenhouses, because if it puts out a lot, there's really no reason for us to do the extra work. We could always use it on the fields, because now, like I said, we burned up what we had, and we will have to use it for both our planter crops and our seeding crops. So I believe there should be a same fill section on this. It's got to be right here, right? Yep. Manure filler up. What does it cost? 827. Not bad at all for 7,000. That is definitely a good way to use fertilizer. I mean, like you said, just pay for it, and then we can use it on our fields. I will say, running on the 10x time scale for this, it feels just right. Like, as far as like for a small farm like this, it feels like you put a good day's work in, and then like the sun's starting to go down. And it's like, wow, yeah, it's been a full day. Okay, so where are we going to plan on putting our manure? We could put it... I don't know if we would ever use the pallet spawn area on the side of this. I mean, it's possible, but we got this to do with those kind of crops. We could dump it back farther over here. That might not be a bad idea. And like I said, eventually we're going to take this tree out. That's something we should almost do like soon, so we can get that field ready to go. And then we will plow kind of like a nice area around here, so it kind of like flows. And then it'll come back this way, right against the area here. Another small field, but it should be nice. Otherwise we could cut before the tree, but I think it'd be nice to run it right up against this road here, right between the two roads. I think it'd make it really interesting. Yeah, let's we'll put it back here. Let's get some dirt painted. Let's see here. Yeah, like I said, just in case we ever decide to use that pallet spawn, it might be a good idea to stay away from it. It probably doesn't necessarily need to be this big either. Do that, and then maybe like we'll throw some a little bit of weeds in here and there. Maybe some smaller ones would look better. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, we'll try to get it in the center. I guess we'll just keep building on it. Force dump. Look at that. That'll be enough to get us started in the greenhouses. We probably could have just dumped it in the greenhouse instead of dumping it on the ground. Maybe we should do that. Let's go get another load, and then we will dump it in the greenhouse. We could try both of them, make sure they both take it. That would have made more sense instead of dumping it on the ground. Okay, let's check the... How much do they hold? That one holds 20,000. This one holds 20,000. So that definitely is a lot. We'll put a little in each, like I said, just so we got something to get started, maybe half and half. A little there. And then we'll try to... I guess this one always goes right at the water thing here. Dump the rest in here. There we go. And that'll leave us a little to get started on each. I think we'll let this water finish out. And then we could also, like I said, we'll look at getting some water piped, I think. That'll save us on some time, then we could sell that. We'll see if it works for the animals. I hope it does, then we could switch that off. Before we close out, here is the greenhouse system. We just flip this up, and then up it comes. So then we're all ready for winter when we do that. These doors do open. I do like that, because you might want it open in the nice weather during the summer. And then, well, obviously you can't have it do that during the winter, you know? So that works perfect for that. But for now, it's the beginning of spring, so let's keep it down. And we got that. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. And then again, we'll continue throughout the year. We'll probably start working on getting that new field drilled. We'll have to get that tree cut down. See you on the next one.